Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Asian indices for the 25th of October. I'd like to start with the S&P 500 though. With the S&P 500 and the same as the Australian market, we're expecting an A and a B and a C wave down through here. And that's still okay as long as this top is not taken out here, or this second top is not taken out here, because this can still count up as an A and a B, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for wave C of a B wave. But having one more high here would turn this structure here into 5 waves. Okay, so just keep an eye on that, because if we get 5 waves up here, then we'll be looking to go. We'll have a correction, of course, and we'll be going much higher than that. We're going long here because we've got support on the 3000. We need to be on the right side of the right time, and also too, we look for Friday to be bullish, and if Friday is not bullish, then we know that we're definitely in a downtrend from that point. The other point too that I just want to make is that normally you'll see the indices go up and gold go down, or vice versa. So we're also looking at gold. As you know, before we talked about this as an A and a B and a C over here on a daily chart for gold here, and then up for one here, an A and a B and a C back here again. So taking this top out here would be would help confirm that we're going to be going up higher. But because we've got 5 waves here and 3 waves here, that means we should be going higher here anyway. So we should be going, way up here. So good for gold stocks, good for this market. So this entry is fine. We just got to get an entry on here as well. So I'll leave that to you, but you know the normal classic trading levels pattern. So we're normally looking for a little first high to come into play here. And then just in case that goes up and drops here. Do you know what I mean? It could just go up and drop. So that's why we look for that little first high there, and then up from that, triggering that high here. So keep an eye on this in the S&P 500. And let's go and have a look at Australia being in a more bullish mode, because with Australia here, we were looking for this move up here to come around this area, around this area here for the 61.8%, but we've moved higher than that now. It still can be an A and a B and a C wave here, but I don't like that now, because I can see that this is impulsing waves to the upside here that will take us higher from here. And as I mentioned before, we needed to be mindful because we had this here in a very clear ABC pattern through here. So there's different ways of looking at all of this structure. I haven't quite sort of made my mind up yet. I mean, originally we looked at it as 1 and 2 and 3 and back for 4 here, but we came too close to wave 1 here for wave 4. Another way to look at this would be up for wave 1 here, back for wave 2, up for wave 1, back for wave 2, and then continuing higher that way. So I still don't know, but what I do know and understand is I understand the pattern within this structure here that will take us higher up into the 6-8 here, and we'll have a correction and then move up from that point. So we're in a bullish pattern here. So let's just go in and look at that and look to trade that. So from this low here, that can be wave 4 or E, or even wave 2 as well. It doesn't really matter at this stage because we're in a trend and we can just work with that. So we know we've got 5 waves here for wave 1 and 2. I know I've got 5 waves in this little structure for 1 and 2, and I know I've got wave 1 here and wave 2 here. And that means that we'll be going up into, well, there's a couple of things here. This trend line that comes through the top here comes in around 67.50. So there will be a little bit of a, well, there's always a little bit of a correction at the midpoint anyway. So just sort of expect something to occur at the 67.50 because of that trend line, and also because of 50 as well. Markets have memories, and we should push higher through that. It just could be a bit of a awkward struggle through there, and it might be a little bit ugly in terms of looking at Elliott wave through that point. But we should be going up here in terms of from wave 2 up into wave 3, wave 4 coming across group 2 there, 65, 72 and 80, and then up here for wave 5 of 3, then coming back here again. Number 8 is a profit taking number. Wave 4 will pull back, and then up for wave 5 of wave 3 at that point. and so on at that point. So looking quite good at this time. So if we want to build in a little bit further in here, that's okay. We'll need, depending on what you want to do, obviously we're going to be taking some profit at the 800, but we'll also be looking to get back in across the 800 as well. So we've got two positions in here now. You could add on top of the 50 here again, which wouldn't be such a bad idea. So just on top of the 50 there somewhere. And that should suffice at that particular point in time, and we'll look to take some profit here, and we'll build back in over here and so on. On the tick chart here, just to give you a little bit more clarity with this, just bear with me a little second. So we've got wave 1 and 2 there. Here we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for 1 and 2 here, and looking up here for 1 and 2, and then also 1 and 2 here, and then looking to push higher here as well. As I just mentioned then, one of the good points here too, that one of the reasons we're going long just here too is because 6700 here, then we've got the sub level. So the sub levels are 1, 2 and 3, and we know that if we get a tested support on top of 3, then that will take us up to 5. We know that we'll get a correction here, we can build back in over here. So 1, 2, 3, 5 and 8, but with 8 here we've also got group 2, 65, 72 and 80 in those. So that's how we'll build to the upside. And you can also note here as well, when the market was going through group 2, group 1 here, at the 20 here, it never became the resistance at this point here. It did in this case, and it pulled back to the closest largest number, but here it kept on building. So understanding each number here, I talk about 3 a lot, and I talk about 2 a lot, not a lot, and I talk about 3 more than 2 because it's part of the setup, more closer to the trigger and the setup. But 2, all of these, each single number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, understand them all, get to know them all. Let's move on to Hong Kong and India. So with Hong Kong here, as you know, we'd counted this up as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. And that could have been the top of a corrective move that we were looking to move down on. But obviously here, just what we're looking for, I sort of assuming that I knew I had 5 waves in this little structure. So we're looking for a B, and then we're looking for a C wave. So we've got that. I wasn't here at the time to get you in early at this point, and I probably wouldn't have done at this stage unless we'd moved up past the 61.8%, but we can go in here now. So we can, all of these green lines through here, we can build in on those, but also to, we've got strong numbers here. So what have we got here? 26.8 here. So we can expect a classic trading levels pattern here, which is the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and the ABC correction, and then up from that point. But if it doesn't pull back, if it gets pushed up with the other markets that are looking quite strong, then make sure that you get in at least on this breach here, because breaching this high here will confirm that this is a corrective pattern. As it stands at the moment, this could be down for 1, back for 2, down for 1, back for 2, and continue to drop here. But as soon as it takes out that, then she's on her way at that point. But I can see that this little one in here is corrective as well, so we'll push up and then drop back. So it'll take a little bit of time to get across this particular one, but we're looking to build in, 3 trades in on this level, and we'll see how we look at that particular point in time. And also the Nifty 50 in India. So we had this here as we know, wave 4s can get a bit ugly, and I did mention that. We had it here, I think, as an ABC pattern here, whoopsie-daisy, for wave 4 here, and it has just made itself a little larger or doubled in size. So I can see this is an A and a B and a C here. So we can look at that as the B wave, which would make this the A wave here. And, you know, maybe I've made a mistake in this here, and this is the actual top here as well. So I'm not quite sure about that, but this is starting to look quite good now. So This is probably up for 1 here and back for 2 here, so we'll probably end up going higher here. This is all of group 2 here again, so 65 here, the 650. Support on that would trigger a long trade from that point. We also want to build in on 72, which is 720 at this point, and we also want to build in over here as well. But what will happen here is we're facing wave 3 top here, so what we're looking for here is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. We'll have a corrective pattern back down, testing here, and then we'll move up from that point there. So as discussed before, we were looking for taking part profit here. We want to play the longer game here. We'll take part profit here, and then we'll also build back in over this side here as well through here, and we'll also build in, copy that, we'll also build in over here as well. So we'll just manage our exposure on that side, and should be good. I don't think this is wave C now, but I'll just leave it there for the time being until we clarify that. But that's the pattern that we're looking at. So all good. Look, thanks for tuning in and thanks for the support. Cheers.
Report unless it's done.
Really?
They're sorting out some plates.